So Walt, tell me stories about when you were in jail, because I understand you were in lots of different jails in your lifetime. Tell me about those.
First, I'd like to explain my background a little bit. I'm a Frisian, and according to the Frisian oral history, we came from the sky goddess Freya, which is why we call ourselves Frisians, and we are dedicated to fighting for what is just and freedom, the most freedom-loving people in the world. And with that, I was raised as a child to always fight for what is right. And because of that, I ended up in jail many times, because when you fight for what's right, that's where you end up. But the first time I was in jail, I had just gotten through unloading the dead from Korea up in Montana. I got transferred to Idaho, Mountain Home Air Base there, and I went to town, and I saw. I went to town. And I got drunk. I was 18 years old or something like that in the Air Force, and I went to get a cup of coffee at the Greyhound station, and there was a sign there that said, "We cater to white trade only." I was livid. I was training black troops as a gymnastic instructor, as a physical instructor, and they were going to Korea, the blacks, and in order for their parents to visit with them, the only way to get there was Greyhound, and then they couldn't even have a cup of coffee. So I went to the manager to take that sign down, and she made a phone call. I knew she was calling the cops, so I went back to the base. I exited stage left, came back the next weekend with my uniform on, and I again said, take that sign down. She made a phone call, and I ended up having a good sleep in a Boise jail that night. I didn't have to get up for reveille. So at around 10 o'clock, the air police came and got me, and they all knew me because I was giving them calisthenics all day long. And they took me back and they put me in the Brigham at the air base at Mountain Home. And the commanding officer came and he said, "What the hell you doing here, Walt?" And I said, "Well, I told him what." He said, "Sergeant, let him out." And he called the mayor of Boise, says, "Boise's off limits till that sign came down." The sign came down immediately. This is not the first experience I've had, but one person can do. Before this, when I was in high school, they cut the Sicilian neighbor of mine off the high school team unjustly. So I had my own team, and he joined my team. I challenged a high school team to play me, and we whipped the high school team with the Sandlot team. So from day one, I've always fought for what I thought was fair, and I went to an all-black college.
Now wait, you went, what year was that?
When I went to an all-black college, it would have been 1953, before it was popular.
And what was the college?
Delaware State College for college students.
And how did you happen to choose that school?
Well, my brother was there, and he went there, and I got out of the Air Force, and it was just convenient to where we lived.
Okay.
We lived on the Eastern Shore. But then I saw the injustices of the blacks, and I formed a boycott against all the restaurants and the movie theater where they wouldn't serve anybody who was black in the restaurants. They had to go to the back door and get a bag to go. They call it bagging, and they made the blacks sit way in the upper part of the movie theater. I started a boycott, and it was 100% successful. We won. After that, I didn't end up in jail there. I ended up in a way, harassed by the local cops. But then I ended up as a union organizer, where I ended up in jail. And the first time was in Hope. The second time is the third time I'm in jail now, and I'm fighting the mafia because they were paid off to protect the garment shops, and I became the head organizer there. And ran all the strikes against all the non-union protected garment shops. And I'm thrown in jail in Hoboken, which was a bit of the country. I understand it's nice now, and I'm in jail there, and there's a woman in the cell next to me. She's a beautiful woman. She says, "You have to help me. They're seducing me every night. All the cops are coming in and raping me." And she said, "You have to help me." I said, "Well, when I get out, I'll try, but I'm in jail too, you know." That was that would have been my first time as a union organizer in jail. Then I ended up in a jail up in Weehawken, and the captain there of the police was always harassing me. He ended up as a chauffeur for the Dons there when they had that mafia conference up in Appalachia, New York, which is the New York State Police did a great job, and they got wind of it and rounded all the mafiosos up and did what they could with them. But here, this captain of police was caught up there, and he was the chauffeur, as they said, for one of the Dons, the big mafiosos. Okay. Another time, I was fighting the mafia, and this would have been in not Weehawken, but another little town there, not Union City, but every little town in New Jersey. Wherever I had a strike, they'd always throw me in jail because that's how they break the strikes. And in this case, there were 5 of the best gunmen lined up. And the cops tipped me off. They said, "Well," because the cops were on my side this strike, and they said, these guys are going to kill you." I said, "Well, we'll see about that." And this young kid came and he spit in my face, and I knew he was coming to kill me. And he was supposed to knife me. And I have a sixth sense that keeps me alive. As he came up to me and spit in my face, I walloped him, and he spun out in the street. And that's when the gunmen were going to come after me, and the cops grabbed me and put me in jail. And they said, "Well, we're putting you in jail to protect you." But anyway.
Okay, so I'm going to pause you there because I think this jail time is going to be a 2-part video. So That's so far. How many times have you been in jail? That's like I'm counting 4 to 5 at this point.
Okay, then I'm up in running a strike up in Pleasantville, New York. Okay, and I get put in jail there. I was drinking coffee. I was running a strike, but I went for a coffee break, and somebody from the factory went out and hit one of my strikers over the head with a pipe, and there fracas ensued, which I had nothing to do with. But because I was in charge, I got arrested and put in jail. I had to go back there in jail 2 or 3 times, so they kept postponing. They'd throw me in jail again, and anyway. Finally threw it all out because they didn't have any case against me. But this is how they broke the strikes.
Okay, so let's make this a part 2 for jail time because this is we'll have a second video, but let's end it right here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have part 2 of jail time, and I have a feeling this takes you to a different part of the country too. So we'll get there. All right. Okay, and this for now.